Now this is an absolute dance classic and surprisingly easy to learn too. Oh, and by the way, you should definitely stick around to the end of the video because not only am I going to teach you this entire song, I'm even going to teach you how to get this sound. This is Beat the Track, the show in where I attempt to teach you an entire song in the same amount of time that that song takes to play. Can I do it? Let's find out. Now I believe this track is 5 minutes and 7 seconds long. So I'm going to put the timer up on the screen now. I'm going to start this in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Right, we're going to start with capo on fret number 6. I know if you're in the States, pronounce capo. But I'm from the UK, I'm a capo man, sorry. And we're going to use frets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. as we normally do when using a capo. Now, before I show you the different chord shapes, I'm actually going to put them all up on the screen now. And you can see there's 8 different chords there. And some of them look pretty darn daunting. I mean, when you've got D sharp diminished flat 6, even I, when I saw all those chords, it made me poop my pants. So, as a beginner, I get it. But the thing I love about teaching this way is that it actually breaks down the chords and makes them not scary at all. And it opens it up for everyone to be able to learn. So it's really, really cool. So we're going to learn all 8 of those positions that you see there, but we're actually going to learn it as 4 different shapes. And you'll see how I'll do that in just a second. So start with position 1 here. I've got my middle finger on A2. And you can see my third finger is on E2. Now it's really important to note that those 2 fingers stay on fret 2 for every single chord shape. And in fact, that third finger stays on E2 for every single chord. It's planted. It does not move. And this middle finger just moves up and down the strings, but stays on that fret 2. And what's really cool is that each shape that we learn has got like almost like this response. So the next chord is exactly the same as what the previous chord was, just with the added little finger. So it's really nice and easy to remember. So let me just demonstrate shape 1 for you. So you can see I played that 4 times in total. Now the rhythm is like 1 and then the response is on a 3E. So it's quite a tricky rhythm to pick up initially. And in fact, one of the easiest ways of doing it is actually playing along with the track. It's not too bad when you're doing it. One thing I will mention though, the track I think has been what we call very sped. So it's actually out of key with the guitar's tuning. So you either need to tune up slightly or find a version on YouTube that has been put to normal standard tuning because it sounds slightly off. Now, so that's shape 1. Shape 2. We move our middle finger down to the D string this time, and we add our first finger on B1. And we're going to strum this one from the A string down. Exactly the same rhythm with that response with the little finger. And then we move on to shape number 3, and this is even easier this time because all we do is move down our little finger, our middle finger moves down to the G2, and we strum this one from the D string. And then simply repeats the whole thing again, so it just does it twice in total. So that is basically the chorus, and let's be honest, this song is just one giant chorus, followed by like a rhythmic bridge. So we'll call that section 2, which we're going to do now. And that uses exactly the same chords, but we're going to add 1 extra chord and a little bit of extra rhythm. So we start with position 1 again, and we're going to add this extra little rhythm, which I'll show you now. And it only plays that twice now. So it's got that extra little couple of beats on the response chord. So then we moved on to position 2. Again, same rhythm, same response chord. And then we move down to position 3. Back to position 1 again. And it starts again and on that position 1, so you actually end up playing that 4 times this time. Then position 2. Position 3. Now this brings us on to our new chord, position 4. So all we're going to do here is move our first finger up 2 strings to the D1, and again exactly the same rhythm. And then we've got this 1, 2, 3, 4 stop, and notice how I bounce off the strings here, and it just makes it a little bit more abrupt and in keeping with the song. And we can stop it there. We've got 20 seconds to go. So that's the full song in less than time. Yes! Now I completely understand that might be a little bit fast paced for some players. I actually chose this format so it's there for those that want to fly through it and learn the song as quickly as possible. But please do go back and pause the video in between each different chords. Use the YouTube settings to slow it down so you can learn it at your own pace. Now, I want to talk about sound and how to get this sound. So I'm using 3 main pedals and 1 mystery pedal. Now more on that in just a second. So first up, my compressor pedal. So I'm using my exotic SP compressor. Can you see that? Is it picking it up all right? Amazing little pedal, this. It's got quite a lot of compression on this. I'm actually using the mid setting compression up. Yeah, great little compressor pedal. Next up is my chorus pedal. Now, this is the Voodoo Lab chorus, analog chorus. Now this is based on the original Boss CE1. I think it's got the same original chips that they used to use when it was like made in Japan or something. So yeah, that's my chorus, great chorus sounding chorus pedal. And finally I've got my Cathedral Reverb by Electro Harmonics. Now, surprisingly, this is not actually my go-to reverb. My go-to is the Strymon Flint. Love that pedal. Not that I don't like this pedal, I love it, and I've used it for many years. And it's got some very cool features on this that doesn't have. But yeah, that normally does absolutely everything. But interestingly enough, when I was trying to get this sound, I actually got better results with this one, which is the way it works sometimes. And I use the plate setting on this one, so that's my reverb. Now the mystery pedal, that is my Crybaby wah pedal. Now you might be thinking, what's wah pedal on this? Well, cool little trick I want to show you in a little bit, so we'll get to that. So yeah, let's pop it on the board and hear what it sounds like. Now I'm going to give you a quick demo of my sound now, and I'm going to stack the pedals one on top of each other so you can actually hear the progression of the sound as we add in each pedal. Now I'm going to start with my clean tone, and I'm using my Watkins Westminster little 5-watt amp. So here's my clean tone. So nice little tone we've got there, not too driven because it's quite a clean sound on the actual record. Now, next up, I'm going to add in my compressor pedal. For me, it's got real heavy compression on this, so I've actually turned my compressor up to 3:15. And also I'm compressing the mid setting on this one. So here's what that sounds like. So for me, that just completely smooths out the sound and it gives us much more of that dancey vibe that we're looking for. Now, next in, I'm gonna add in my Cathedral Reverb pedal. Now, this is not next in the chain. I actually have it last in my pedal chain, but I just thought it'd be interesting for you to hear the reverb and the chorus separately so you can hear what they are doing. So here's my reverb setting. It's on the plate setting, sorry. And by the way, blend. I want to talk about the blend real quickly, because for me, if you listen to the record, you actually hear more of the wet signal rather than the dry guitar signal. So I've got my blend setting just set past 12 o'clock to give it that sort of slightly more wet sound without losing too much of the guitar. So this is what that sounds like. So I think that's much more that kind of dancey vibe that we are looking for. Now I'm going to show you my chorus next. And I actually think the chorus on its own works really well for live use, for cover gigs and things like that. So I think you can get away with just using it, but this is what it sounds like anyway. So do you hear what I mean there? It's still got that kind of dancey vibe to it, and I think it would work great on its own. But I think we get even closer when we blend the two together. So here's what that sounds like. And that to me is much more the dancey vibe that we are looking for. Now I wanted to show you a really cool trick with the wah pedal that I mentioned earlier. Now when the song breaks down, you get this kind of muffled effect before it kind of comes back in, almost like a phasery type thing. And we can actually replicate that with the wah pedal, but it helps to bring down the song and sort of adds interest to it, and helps with the dynamics to bring it back in for that final big chorus at the end. So what I'm going to do on the wah now, bring it all the way back, and we progressively bring it forward as we ride out the last part of the song and then flip back into it. Now I've taken off my reverb, just kept on my chorus, and taken out my compressor pedal as well for this. So this is the kind of effect that you get with that. So you see, it just adds a little bit of interest, and it breaks it down, brings it all down nicely, and then builds it back up nicely for the big chorus at the end. So it's just kind of cool trick that I wanted to show you that I thought you might like to try for yourself. I really hope that you enjoyed that video and it gave you some value. I've got plenty more teaching videos in my Beat the Track series. Just click on the pop-out banner above here or follow the links in the description below and it'll take you straight there. Now, if you've got any more video ideas or song suggestions that you'd like me to teach or cover, then pop them down in the comments below. And I really do try and get back to each and every one of you. And I really appreciate all the comments that have come in so far. So please do keep them coming. Now, if you want to show your support, the best thing I can ask you to do is smash that like button and hit the subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really does help keep me in the algorithm and it really helps my channel to grow. Now, as ever, you've been watching The Music Halls. I'm KH. Until next time, keep on rocking. Yeah. So let's give you a demo now of my sound. And I'm going to stack the pedals one on top of each other so you can hear the... What was that? Oh my God. So I'm going to start with just my clean tone to begin with. And here we go.